Aloha and welcome to the G'day Sally Show. I'm Sally Squires, entertaining the world. And tonight I'm going to read you a story from my book Mermaids Make Magic. And my book is, the story is called The Oarfish is Out of Oxygen. You can see more information about all my books on my website, which is www.g'day.com. So as I said, the story is called The Oarfish is Out of Oxygen. Rowenaria mermaid loves to roam. She is the far-travelling mermaid, and she loves to discover new places and new ocean creatures. One sunny Sunday, Rowenaria picked up her mermaid magic seaweed sack and set off swimming for some strange seas. She hadn't gone far when she spied a fish. Well, that's not unusual, I can hear you say. After all, she is swimming in the ocean, and the ocean is full of fish. But at first Rowenaria didn't realise it was a fish because she had never seen anything like it before. It was very, very, very long, and she just saw a fishy-looking creature, no head and no tail. So she started to swim along the long shape looking for the head or the tail, whichever she spied the soonest. Rowenaria mermaid swam and swam and swam and swam. It seemed as if she would never find one end or the other of this long, 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 long sea creature. She kept swimming and swimming, and all she could see was more and more fish. When she was about to give up, she finally found the fish's head. She slipped slowly up to the fish's eyes and said, "Hello, fish. What kind of fish are you? I have never, ever seen such a long fish before." "Well," said the fish, the long, 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 very long fish, "that's because I never, ever come up to the surface of the ocean. I live in the deepest part of the ocean where mermaids do not go. That's why you've never, ever seen me before." "And what has made you venture up here to the surface of the ocean now?" asked Rowenaria. "I can't breathe down there anymore," said the fish. "I need oxygen to breathe, and there is none left down in the deep, deep depths where I usually live. I don't know what I will do because I want to go home, but I can't go home if I can't breathe," said the fish, taking a big breath. "That's terrible," said Rowenaria. "I am the roaming mermaid, so I will find out what has happened to the oxygen in the water." "I wish you would find out and get the oxygen back to where it should be in the deepest part of the ocean so I could go home," said the fish. "What was the fish's name?" I can hear you ask. Well, I'll tell you. The fish's name was Optima the Oarfish, and he was a very, very, very long fish indeed. He was 50 feet long. Now that is a very, very, very long fish, don't you agree? Optima was an oxygen-breathing oarfish. Rowenaria decided that she must find a way to bring back the oxygen to the deep, deep ocean depths, so that Optima, the oxygen-breathing oarfish, and his friends would be able to breathe again. She thought she should swim off to Mermaid Cave and talk to Zoesta Mermaid to see if she could suggest a solution to the tragic disappearance of the oxygen, which all creatures need to live, even if they live in the deep, deep depths of the deepest part of the ocean. Zoesta Mermaid listened carefully while Rowenaria told her about Optima, the oxygen-breathing oarfish, and the problem of the disappearing oxygen. She agreed that something had to be done, and as the mermaids are the guardians of the ocean and all the ocean's creatures, she must think of a plan. Zoesta thought for a minute and a second, and then her face lit up in a great big mermaid smile. Now, as you know, mermaids all help each other to overcome problems. So Zoesta had thought of an idea to return the oxygen to the deep, deep depths of the ocean, but it would need several mermaids to make it happen. Rowenaria reached down into her mermaid magic seaweed sack and pulled out her special secret shell. She blew a fluty tune on the shell, and after a minute and a second, mermaids started appearing all over Mermaid Cave. "What can we do to help?" the mermaids asked as they gathered under the sparkly coral ceiling of Mermaid Cave. Rhoenerio told the mermaids about the trouble that Optima, the oxygen-breathing oarfish, was having, which meant he had to leave his home in the deep, deep depths of the deepest part of the ocean. Fish Lover was very upset to hear about Optima leaving his home because Fish Lover is the guardian of the fish. "How can I help?" asked Fish Lover. "Zoester has a plan to help create oxygen back in the deep, deep depths of the deepest part of the ocean," said Rhoenerio. Zoester began to explain her plan. "Now, as we all know, seaweed creates oxygen in the water. It uses sunlight and carbon dioxide from the air, and it makes oxygen and sugar as food for itself and other ocean creatures." The mermaids all nodded because they all knew how important seaweed was. Garden Esther was happy to hear how everyone appreciated seaweed because she was the guardian of the seaweed. "How can I help?" she asked. So Esther continued to explain her plan. "First, we need to help Exquisata build a reef in the part of the ocean where Optima and his friends live. Then we need to help Garden Esther plant seaweed all along the reef. The seaweed will create oxygen in the water around the reef." The mermaids were all listening intently to Zoester's plan. "Next, we need to round up all the deep-sea dragonfish we know and ask them to swim in the water all the way down to the deep, deep depths of the ocean. As you know, dragonfish can create their own light, and they will light the way and encourage more seaweed to grow down in the deep, deep depths of the ocean. After that, we need to call upon all the sea angels and sea butterflies to gather in that part of the ocean and flap their wings, their fins, so that all the new oxygen that is created by the seaweed will flow down into the deep depths of the ocean. That will bring the oxygen back to the ocean where Optima Oarfish and his friends live, and they will be able to go back home again." All the mermaids clapped and clapped. They thought Zoester's plan was a very clever one indeed, and they all set about to bring the oxygen back to the deep, deep depths of the ocean. It took Exquisata, helped by the other mermaids, a week and a day to build the reef, and then Garden Esther began to plant seaweed all along the reef. At the same time as she was planting, helped by the other mermaids, the dragonfish were all floating and swimming down in the deep, deep depths to encourage the seaweed to grow there. Then the sea butterflies and the sea angels started to flap their fins to encourage the oxygen that was being created to flow down into the deep, deep depths. At last, Optima the Oarfish could swim back to his home in the deep, deep depths of the ocean. He was very happy that the oxygen which he needs to breathe was once more back in his oceanic home. And as you know, we all need oxygen. That story was from my book, Mermaids Make Magic. You know, Hawaii is a microcosm of the world with people here from all over the world, and Noa Noa Hawaii is a microcosm of the traditional arts of the world with beautiful patterns from many countries. They've been in business for 38 years with wonderful Hawaii designed boutique clothing. Their hand-dyed and handmade clothes have patterns that are based on traditional kapa and tapa designs from Hawaii, Polynesia, Micronesia, Indonesia, even New Zealand and Africa. So check out all of the wonderful items that Noa Noa has on their website, which is www.noanoahawaii.com. So I'll be back next week, so bye for now.